Hello, and welcome to the 2013 Compliance Webcast. My name is Carolyn Sanfilippo, and I'm a Compliance Analyst in the Compliance Department here at Pentegra. Pentegra is a premier provider of retirement plan solutions for organizations nationwide. We are located in White Plains, New York. The purpose for our webcast today is to help you complete the Participation and Coverage Questionnaire and the Census Data File. We hope that this will make the process easier and smoother for you. Let's begin.
Your web page. The 2012 compliance information is located on your plan sponsor website at www.pentegra.com under the Administration tab on the Compliance page. Refer to the subsections below for details, definitions and instructions, important compliance testing dates, census definitions and instructions, instructions to download, upload your census data file, compliance forms, participation and coverage questionnaire, W-2 election form, and data downloads. Your census data file download. Please note you must save the download file as an Excel file type to your local desktop before entering any data changes. Data collection. The 2012 non-discrimination testing will be performed in the order in which complete and accurate data is received. That is, testing can begin upon receipt of both your completed and signed Participation and Coverage Questionnaire and the Census Data File. The Participation and Coverage Questionnaire is 4 pages long. Once you've completed it, it can be uploaded to the website, scanned and emailed to jbontaviglio-moreno@pentegra.com, or fax to the Compliance Department at 914-694-9384. The Census Data File must be uploaded through the Secure File Upload section of the Compliance page. Complete instructions are located under Definitions and Instructions. Refer to the instructions, download, upload Census Data File. The initial review usually occurs within a week of compliance receiving your data. Your analyst will perform an initial review of the Participation and Coverage Questionnaire and the Census Data File. You will be contacted if any information is missing or it needs clarification. It's our goal to help you this year in securing complete and accurate data for the testing. We do provide you with specific guidelines for when we need to receive your data so that we can complete your testing in a timely manner. Supplemental resolutions. Each November, the Defined Contribution Services Department announces the availability of the supplemental resolutions. These are sent to all of our 401k and our profit-sharing program sponsors. The supplemental resolution permits the participating employer or the plan sponsor to make a one-time additional contribution on behalf of contributing employees to increase your matching contributions for the year, or on behalf of all eligible employees where you can add an element of profit sharing to your plan. Please note that the testing will be impacted depending on the type of supplemental resolution you have chosen to complete. The supplemental resolution Type 1 must be received by our office by February 28, 2013. This contribution will be reflected in both your ACP and 415 tests. The supplemental resolution Type 2 can be returned up until March 2013. This contribution will be reflected on your 415 test. If you have previously funded a supplemental contribution and have submitted your 2012 supplemental resolution, the testing for your plan will be placed on hold. That is, even if we have received your completed Participation and Coverage Questionnaire and your Census Data File. That test will be placed on hold until you have funded the supplemental contribution. This will avoid rerunning of any of the applicable tests, the ACP or the 415, until your supplemental has been received and processed. Please note that once you have funded your contribution, it generally takes 2 to 3 business days for it to be processed. Coordination of the Participation and Coverage Questionnaire and the Census Data File information. Section C of the Participation and Coverage Questionnaire, particularly questions 1 and 6, should tie into the employee information that you provided on the census data file. Section C1, we are requesting that you enter all the number of employees that were employed with your company for the year. It's very important that you indicate the total number of all of your employees, even if they are not eligible or have chosen not to participate in the plan. We need this information so that all eligible, non-participating employees are represented on the ADP and ACP tests. Section C, questions 2 and 5, allow for a reduction of those employees who are not eligible to participate in your plan due to not meeting the age and or service requirement, or may be excluded due to statutory exclusions that could be outlined in your plan. Statutory exclusions would include leased employees, temporary employees, hourly employees, employees covered under another plan, or collectively bargained employees. The census data file should include each person included in the headcount information on questions C3 and C6 of the Participation and Coverage Questionnaire. W-2 Compensation Election. Please be advised that only participating employers in the Pentegra Defined Contribution Plan for financial institutions are required to complete the W-2 Compensation Election Form. If the W-2 Compensation Election Form was completed and you have chosen option B for the election to use partial compensation, we're requesting that you provide us with additional information on the census data file in column N for partial 2012 W-2 compensation and column S, partial section 125 plus transportation fringe. Please note that in addition to these partial columns, you must complete the total W-2 earnings and section 125 total amounts because the 415 test is based on total compensation. In order to report partial compensation for your employees who became eligible during the plan year, you must first determine when that employee became eligible and what his first entry date is. For example, if Joe Smith met the age and service requirements of the plan as of July 26, 2012, and the next plan entry date was the first of the month following completion of the eligibility requirements, he would enter the plan on August 1, 2012. Next, please calculate his compensation from August 1st to December 31st, 2012. This is the amount you will report in column N for partial 2012 W-2 compensation. If any pre-tax deductions for medical, dental, eye care, AFLAC, flexible spending, and or dependent care were made, it's necessary for you to calculate the pre-tax deductions for the same time period as the compensation, for instance, August through December 31st, 2012. Provide these amounts in column S for partial section 125 plus transportation fringe on the census data file. Highly compensated employees are defined as follows. Any employee who has earned more than $110,000 in the prior year, a 5% owner of the company in the prior year or the current year, a lineal descendant of a 5% owner. A lineal descendant would include a spouse, a child, grandchild, and or parents. Eligible non-participating employees are those individuals that are employed with your company and have met your plan's eligibility requirements, but they have chosen not to defer any salary. They have not exercised their right to participate in the plan. Compensation for 2012 terminated employees is necessary. If you have an employee participant who terminated during 2012 and she or he were eligible to participate in your plan, please provide their 2012 W-2 Box 1 wages and, if applicable, their Section 125 plus transportation fringe amounts. These individuals must be reflected in the ADP-ACP test. W-2 wages Box 1. Refer to your 2012 W-2 wage and tax statement and enter the amount that appears in Box 1 for wages, tips, and other compensation. We are excited about the new enhancements for 2012. In order to streamline the testing process, the census data file has been enhanced by pre-populating the following fields with information from Pentegra's files. Employee 401k contributions in column O, Roth employee contributions in column P, employer matching contributions in column Q, stock owners in column T, officers in column U, family members in column V. We need you to please review the pre-populated information and confirm that the data is correct. Also, identify any additions or deletions as you see necessary. For example, if you have any new officers or stock owners or family members, please indicate that under column W, under Additional Comments on the census data file. If you realize that contributions need to be adjusted, please notify your account representative and also indicate that information under column W for additional comments on the census data file. Imputed income and group term life insurance. Money that has been paid towards group term life insurance, known as GTL, in excess of $50,000 is reported in Box 1 on the W-2 wage and tax statement. Please don't add this amount for the group term life insurance to Box 1 wages, as it will inflate your participants' compensation. Imputed income is a term that the Internal Revenue Service applies when they feel that the value of a benefit or service should be considered as income for the purposes of calculating your federal taxes. Only few benefits may be counted towards imputed income. They are your basic life insurance in excess of $50,000 for all employees, with the exception of your collectively bargaining employees. Medical and dental insurance coverage for domestic partners and their dependents. Section 125 and Transportation Fringe Benefits. Items that should be included in column R for total Section 125 plus Transportation Fringe, and column S for partial Section 125 plus Transportation Fringe on your census data file should include the following pre-tax deductions: medical, dental, eye care, dependent care, flexible spending, AFLAC, and transportation fringe benefits such as your car expenses. Please note that these pre-tax deductions are located in your payroll records and on your W-2 Box 10 for dependent care benefits. But please check your payroll records, as most of these that I have just named are in the payroll records and not on your W-2. The W-2 just has your dependent care benefits. Stock owners. For compliance testing purposes under column T for stock owners, it's necessary to report any of your stock owners that are 5% owners in the previous year, 5% owners in the current year, or 1% owners in the current year that have a compensation of $165,000 or greater. It's not necessary for you to report any stock owners who retain less than the 5% ownership, especially if they did not meet the $165,000 compensation threshold for 2012. Your officers. In column U, please report any officer of your organization who fulfills an executive role. Also identify any officer who has a fiduciary duty towards your plan. This would include members of your plan committee or your plan administrator. It's not necessary for you to identify all of your officers who are not on your plan committee or whose compensation was less than $110,000 in 2011 and 2012. Family relationships. In column V, Family Member, identify the Social Security number of the family member. In column W, under Additional Comments, indicate the relationship to other participants. It's necessary for you to report relatives, specifically anyone who is a lineal descendant of a 5% owner. Remember, a lineal descendant is a spouse, a child, a grandchild, or a parent. These family members can be considered highly compensated employees for the testing period. Some other important information items that you need to be aware of. Rehire information. If an employee was previously employed with your organization and has returned to service, indicate the rehire date in column I. For determining their eligibility, it's necessary for us to know their original hire date with your firm. Please make sure that the information in column H for their hire date is correct. Hours for non-eligible employees. Depending on the eligibility requirement for your plan, particularly the hours of service requirement, add a comment in column W under Additional Comments as to whether these individuals have met the hours of service requirement for participation in your plan. It's important for you to categorize any part-time employees who should be excluded, as we may not be aware of their hours requirement. Name changes. Identify name changes for any employees in column W under Additional Comments. If the change in name form has not been submitted for the employee or participant, please complete it and submit it to your account representative so that the employee or participant record can be updated. Please note that any changes to the pre-populated data should be identified in column W under Additional Comments.
Thank you for viewing our webcast. We hope you have found it helpful and informational. If you need additional support, please contact your compliance analyst at 1-800-872-3473. Thank you and have a good day.